Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to WhatMap, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very, very welcome. Well, this week on the channel I've had a number of different polls running, and one of them asked you guys what your favourite sort of map was, and the two runaway winners on that poll were coastal and hills and valleys. Well, the first map today should be really popular with a lot of you because it has coastal and it has hills and valleys, so don't want too many complaints, please. Today's second map would normally fall underneath the title of quirky, but this turns out to be quite an exceptional, in fact probably the best sort of its genre, so look forward to that one. But before we have a second half of the show, we have a first half of the show, and before we have the first half of the show, we have one of these. That's right, clicking that like button will support the channel, gets me seen by more people and helps me grow a little bit more every single day. Thank you for your support. Today's first map is Tosa Bay by specteX. Now, specteX we have done twice in the past on the channel under a different name. Do you remember Xoss with an X, XO, and then there's a dollar sign or something at the end? Anyway, yeah, do you remember Xoss? There's your start square, looks pretty playable to me, quite happy with that. Terrain heights, it's quite hill, a little bit like a Japanese feel to it in some ways. Then we have the resources. Resources are usable just in the patches where there's buildable land though, which is probably the places that you want them. If you've got Sunset Harbour and you want to do some fishing, all the fish are there in sort of isolated locations. Okay, off to the workshop. What do we need? Well, it's a mass transit map. You will need mass transit for this one, along with industries, although the map will not be broken if you don't have industries, so that's okay. That's all right. We've got apparently 1,50,000 trees. That really should have been 150,000. I was worrying it might be 1.5 million at one point, but no, it's 150,000 with a comma where there shouldn't be. We're using the Stray Cats Territory Homecoming theme, the Springwood LUT, the Unlimited Tree mod, even though you don't really need it for this number of trees. And we're down to ground level. So anyway, like I say, before the industry, if you don't have industries, you can play this map. It will not be broken. There will be one small section which we'll have a look at in the as we get to it, I suppose, that you'll want to replace. You'll notice it. It'll be very clearly missing, but the map won't be broken. They've gone with industries for the aesthetic style of this asset within the industries, but again, you can very easily use vanilla, or you can use custom, or just however you like to play the game. However you like to play the game. There's also a second item from industries that I found, which has just been used for detailing. You may or may not have noticed it already. We will have a look at all of that when we get to it. In terms of the map itself, like I say, we have all these flat, lovely flat, perfectly flat, very buildable little valley areas, which is where all the resources are. So if you fancy making like an industrial area, that's what I'll go with. Industries, industrial. You think I could put those two words together, and I really can't. But yeah, now, what do I think about the map as a whole? Well, my first instinct is it feels a little bit like a Playmobil map, sort of like Toyland, and I mean that in a nice way, not in a sort of like, oh, it's an amateurish kiddie style map. It's really not. Lovely little buildable area here with a little like a river harbour entrance. It's all very neat. Not the start square. We're still heading down towards the start square. So yeah, it's got a charm to it. Like I say, a Playmobil charm. It's not always about having 100% realistics. It has to be within an nth of a degree of realism. Sometimes it's just about having a nice buildable shape. Now, a few of you will want more buildable space. You know, we'll be seeing all of the main buildable planes, and you could recover some of the land around the coast, and I don't see any problem with that, especially if you're going to be using the vanilla rules, the limited amount of soil that you can be moving around. I think that could be a way. Oh, now we're into the main town centre kind of area. Got this lovely little custom bridge there, which we'll come and have a look at a little bit later on. But that's where your main town's going to be, and that's pretty neat. Sizable without being huge. Nice looking Parklow intersection in there as well, and some nice interesting harbour areas too, including the rail. We have a little bit of rail here as well, with no catenary chaos. So if you're playing BonBonBingo, you can't check off catenary chaos because there is no catenary chaos. There might be in the second review, so you might be able to pick up your points there. There is, however, a little hint of blue mantle just there. That's it. It's in the start square, so it's a bit of a bigger fail than it would have been. But how many is it really going to make you cry? I don't think so. I don't think so. You don't stick a tree in front of it and it'd mostly be hidden, mostly. Anyway, the rail's fine. You'll see that we've got this flat area, so it's fairly easy to build it fairly flatly. Flatly, not flatly, as in Michael. Like in this though, we have got it sort of like on a I was going to say a berm, on a embankment, soft embankment there, to enable the rail to run smooth and true and tidily. It's pretty decent work, you know. It's pretty decent work. But yeah, the style of the it's a nice style. Again, it's a little bit simplistic without being sort of like worryingly so. You know where I'm coming with this? I don't know if I know where I'm coming with this. Anyway, just like in the overall shape of this, it's about the right. I mean, we're going right across on a diagonal, so we've got the longest possible shoreline. So there is that going for it as well. Let's have a little look down here. First of all, industries. If you don't have industries, you won't have these fences. We've got some down here in the farm area. Some of the farm areas, well, many of the farm areas don't have the fences. Mostly, though, they're being used as like a road barrier around here, stopping you from accidentally driving into the water, which is a nice. I'd say it's a nice touch. It's a nice touch, and I approve. But what we'll be missing, and there are a few instances of them, are where are we? I know that's here somewhere. This bridge here, there we go. This bridge here, this is an industries bridge, so without the DLC you'll be missing this one, and there's a couple more very much like it, but as best I can remember you can still get to the start square without them, so the map isn't broken and you can replace them really easily. Loving this little island. It's almost a BonBon island. It's just, I could do with a little bit more flat land at low level, and maybe a shack on there, and I call that a BonBon island. Liking this is almost like a dry dock area, although it's not a dry dock because it's wet. Would be nice if we had a shipping route coming up and into here. We don't, but being able to access that with a shipping route would be quite nice. I'm liking what's done here as well with the rock detailing. Some of these work really, really well indeed, and I'm a big fan. There's just one little patch along this one here, and you'll see at the bottom where it's just grass, and so just a little bit more work in this area here, and I would say that would be quite an accomplished bit of work there. The rivers, do you know what? I quite like the rivers. I quite like them. Again, they're very Playmobil. Doesn't always have to be to the nth degree of detailing, but I think in the style that the map is done, I think this is just a winner. I think this is just a winner. Sometimes you see a river like this and I'll be complaining about it, but that's for me because it doesn't quite fit with the map style that we're being presented with. But on this one, the way that the map's possibly a little bit of a struggling river there at that point, but in the style of the map that we've got, I would say this works quite neatly. Here is probably my one grumble with the river. I look at this and I see the river pushing out and it's soil on that corner. I feel that might erode away with the weight of water. Maybe. Having said that, The water coming from the other direction is going to be fairly weak because we've got the dam, which is holding back the water somewhat. So maybe it wouldn't be eroding away strongly. Anyway, nice little dam right up there at the edge of the map. I don't mind that at all. I don't like the words are coming out and they're all in the wrong words and all in the right order, and I don't know what I'm talking. It's been a heavy week. It's so many heavy weeks. More of the industry's bridges there, a couple of those there. That'll stop your traffic coming in from this direction, but you'll be able to get traffic in from the other direction. Here's that custom bridge I said we're coming to have a look at later on. My big grumble with the map is this, and it's a quick fix, okay? It's a very quick fix. I'm going to do a bad job of fixing it, by the way, just because it's so quick. I'm doing it on the fly. But look, it's a bit wobbly. It's a bit wobbly. I understand why, though, and that's because we're trying not to cut into these pillars, but I would say there's enough room on either side of the highways to be able to move these in manually and it not actually be a problem. So if I was to shunt that one in as well. Now, the best way of doing this is just to draw them out in a straight line from one side of the river to the other, and not fiddling and faffing about using move it, because even this is just, as you'll see at the end, it's still wonky. But there you go. That's the kind of gist that I'm on about anyway in terms of this custom bridge. It would, there you go, wonky at the end. Now, nah, yeah, should I? I don't know if I should. Anyway, the whole point of this exercise is the bridge isn't perfect. In my eyes. In my eyes. Yeah, look at that. There you go. It's still not perfect. SpecteX, yeah, your bridge was probably better because at least it was sort of like balanced before I started messing with it. Okay, the Essential Lighthouse. Ah, isn't she lovely? Well, she would be, apart from we've got a little bit of glitchy water around the bottom. Can't get in there because of the vanilla rocks. And you're going to be a brave, if you're scared of heights, that is going to be one hell of an entrance into your workplace, especially with the broken staircase on the lighthouse as well. But I think it's very sweet. I think it's very sweet. It's just a shame about the vanilla glitching of the water in the rocks. Anyway, all told, yeah, Playmobil. But what do you think of Playmobil Town? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. Hit the I button now or the link in the description. It will take you to the voting page where you can vote for free, but be sure to vote on the correct map, because there are two. Okay, what do I think of today's first map? Well, it's got a charm to it. It genuinely has. I keep saying it's Playmobil, but in a good way. I really quite like this. I'm not gonna tell you I think it's the most beautiful map I've ever seen, aesthetically speaking, but I think it's iconic and striking enough and clean enough to get a 4th star. I mean, just. So I'm going to go there. I'm going to give it a 4th star. Detailing on the whole it's okay. I don't feel we haven't got anything that's really making it a shine into a 4th star, but it's okay. Upper end of 3 stars. And gameplay potential. I want more buildable space, really. It feels like a map that needs a bit more buildable space. I'm going to go medium high 3 stars. Yeah, we'll go with that. Won't let you down. Tosa Bay by specteX. Pretty solid. And as far as Playmobil maps go, that's my favourite one for a long while. Speaking of favourite maps for a long while, there's a very special one right after the break. And so back to the second half of today's show, and a map shape that many of you will instantly recognise if you've played a little game, sold a couple of copies I think, Grand Theft Auto 5? You'll recognise the map. Now, I think they've taken a little bit of liberty with the name of this map, and we're not going to criticise that. Well, anyway, the point is with this map, I think it's the best version of a Grand Theft Auto map I have seen. And so, For that, it deserves a chunk of credit. Today's second map is San Andreas de Grandel, GTAV, there you go, by ScanCunt42. Now, San Andreas, of course, was the original version of Los Angeles and all the, there's your start square, all the relevant cities around. And this is the more modern version, and Los Santos and Blaine County. So yes, it's strictly not San Andreas, but it is because that's what we're calling it. Resources are a bit light, by the way. That might be my big grumble with the map. And then if you've got Sunset Harbour and want to do some fishing, there's your fishing map. Okay, off to the workshop. I'm charmed by this. I'm charmed. Both these maps today have charmed me. It's a mass transit map, by the way. You will need mass transit for this one. There's a few things to subscribe to. Ours Los Angeles theme will be using the realistic 1.2 LUT because nothing else has been suggested. And there is a one-click collection, but we're not going to look at that because you've just seen the list on the right, and there's the same. And a charming short description. Now, I'm picking a hole here. We're right in the corner. This doesn't exist in Grand Theft Auto. This is the outside connection to, I think it's Vice City, but it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. It's just rail over the road, and tunnels are a bit wonky, and we've got a rock on the road, and that's the weakest part of the map. And it doesn't matter because it's deep in fog, and nobody's ever going to be seeing it. Okay? But if I don't show it, then people are going to go, well, what about that corner of the... So I've shown it now, okay? We're not faffing about with the edge, the corners of the map here. It's about the middle of the map. Now, anyway, this is where your airport lives, okay? And then your outside connections come in from underneath the airport, and it emerges here. Now, everything from this point in is going to be pretty impressive, especially, well... networkings are good, very much based on the game because it's rescaled as well. Of course, it's rescaled. You will not get the entire Grand Theft Auto map on the Cities Skylines map. Start Square is here, okay, and we're not following routes on this point because there's so many ways of getting to here and whatever's. But yeah, the standards of the networking are really high. My grumble is with some of the standards on the detailing, if you're that bothered about this. But look at the standard of this. Just look at the quality of this. That for me is a win. That is very nice indeed. Now, I'm gonna mention it, but I'm not gonna harp on about it, and I'm not gonna go looking for it. I did notice at one point a street lamp clipping through the underside of a slightly too low bridge. And then I couldn't find it again for the flyover. So take my word for it. It's there, but yeah, whatever's. But it is very strongly based on the GTA, the Los Santos and Blaine County Grand Theft Auto 5 map. Just ignore the words San Andreas because that harps back a little way. Although I did love that. I did love that version of the game. Oh dear. You know, the way your main protagonist would... sort of like put on weight if you kept eating pizza, or you could buff him out by going to the gym and just doing workouts all the time. It was it was a nice thing. It was a nice thing. But then, if you've not played Grand Theft Auto 5, and first of all, where have you been? Where have you been? The highly recommended, the solo player storyline is so much fun. It really is, and funny. I mean, all of the sexual innuendo jokes that are tied in, all the cultural references and stuff. Sandy Shores and the Alamo Sea are right there, and of course the big old Mount Chiliad on our right as well. Which we're going to go around the back of, go around to Tosa Bay, where there is another exit, which supposedly, according to the description, heads off to North Yankton. This is the one part of the map where it's tucked around behind Mount Chiliad, so it doesn't really matter, but it kind of detracts a little bit from the map. I would rather have not been. Oh, we've got some logs on the road here as well. That was a slight oversight, I feel, from the creator here, because there's not really much else wrong with the map. Those two there and the rock on in the start, well, where we started the flyover. Slight incline going into the tunnel there. Simple to fix. Anyway, yes, in terms of innuendo, right, I think the folks at Rockstar have missed the trick where Skankunt42 has really picked up on it. There is a sexual innuendo joke in this map, we will get to it, that I think is, well, it's better than what Grand Theft Auto have done in-game. Here's your edge of map connections over here. Down here in Tosa Bay, I don't like it. I mean, it's very nice. I would rather have had another hidden exit, to be honest with you, but I can live with it. I can live with it. It's, like I say, you're not going to be, unless you really wanted to do a Tosa Bay city build. And if you do, well, good for you. The old chicken factory, Clucking Bell Chicken Factory. But that's if you want to do that. But if you don't, then that's fine. You can just concentrate on Los Santos. It's good for a Los Santos build. Anyway, this is the highway running down the other side of the island. We're doing the full lap of the island here. First of the two river exits here, and that is quite neat. And all the visuals feel right, and the bridge feels right. And then we've got one of the most iconic bends. If you play Grand Theft Auto 5, you'll definitely have crashed here, taking this too fast and not quite being able to hold the bend. It's just iconic and it's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Heading down here, we on the left-hand side now, you get Fort Zancuso with the military base there. And then another big old bridge, another big old river exit here, where you get all the marshlands up the middle, and it's a great map. I mean, Rockstar did a good job, and I'll tell you what, Skankunt has done an equally good job in converting this for a Skylines build. I mean, it works. And you know what? I feel this as a buildable map. It's taken me by surprise, because these maps are always rubbish. I mean, honestly, these maps are always rubbish. But not this one. Credit. Look at all that buildable space for the big city. Yep, that's a winner. A winner. And the old desert up there as well. Anyway, right, let's have a little think. What should we focus on? Well, you've got the wind farm there. You've got the hills. You've got the dam, the reservoir. I don't know where to start. Love the reservoir. Love the dam. Love the dam. There is a dam there in the game. Which everybody thought at one point that would be destroyed but no. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if they were to have done that in the game? Anyways, we've got say the rivers feel right. I've got all the little, not all the bridges, but a few of the bridges along here. There are a few bits of what I call major networks that are sort of like incomplete. But do you want everything completed? Up here, another one of those iconic little bridges I think we've all driven over at some point or several points, with the rail running across it as well. Now, I don't know if you've know about this one, but we've got this island over this side of the map, and if we go, so have a little look at the shape of this island here, right? Oh, there's the essential lighthouse. Be nice if there was an essential lighthouse on there, because there is a lighthouse on there. But anyway, have a look at that island. Okay, you got it memorized. Now, that's very similar. In game, they are actually carbon copies, only mirrored. It's something that the guys at Rockstar have done, and so it's nice to actually see that Skankunt has actually decided to copy that one across as well. This is meant to be the pier. What's that famous pier in Los Angeles? I've forgotten. But anyway, that is meant to be the pier. I don't know if it works the way that they're done that there. That's probably the grumble. Okay, It's probably the grumble. This is the Bollingwood Penitentiary, the prison. Could be done with some, could do with some flattening, I feel. But that is where the prison is in Grand Theft. And this isn't the prison. This is what that amphitheatre, theatre, outdoor theatre. There you go. Not sure I buy into the castle there, but the rest of it looks good. Now, okay, you remember what I said about innuendo, right? So this is the Hollywood sign, yep. Right, okay, now, Vinewood in the game. But what would be funny is if we went with Morningwood. I mean, that is just innuendo genius. I love that. Scancunt, if you're watching this, you have all of my... yes. I have no words. I just have no words. I've forgotten how to use words. We have a few... these are a few of the props. These are all from Grand Theft Auto. Sprunk. And of course everybody's favourite beer. Words are hard, aren't they? Pisswasser. Everybody loves the bottle of Pisswasser. It's fantastic. And yes, I do know what that is. Yeah, I do. Anyway, what do you think of today's second map? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. Hit the I button now or the link in the description. It will take you to the voting page where you can vote for free. And as it's free, I think you should. But make sure you're voting on the right map. What do I think of today's second map? Well, do you know what? I think they've done a really mighty fine job here. It's there's still a ton more work that can be done if they really wanted to really shine. But I think I've got to go middle 4. There's nothing really too much to grumble about, so I'm good with it. Middle 4. Detailing. Here's the thing. I want to see more, and there are a few clunky areas on here, but overall the standards are fine. And I feel I've got to go 4 stars. There's a lot of high quality networking. I'm going to go 4 stars. I'm going to go right at the very bottom end of 4 stars though. Gameplay, it feels like a pretty decent playable game. It's not going to please anybody who wants to recreate GTA because of those outside connections, so that loses a little bit, but I think lower end of 4 stars is still a winner. San Andreas, the GTA 5 or GTA V by Scancam42 can very happily have a BonBonB seal of approval for being the standout map of its class. If you want to do a GTA build, this is the map to do it on, in my opinion. Doesn't quite 100% scale, but does any Cities Skylines city 100% scale? I mean, I'm sure some do. Anyway, thanks for watching, commenting, for liking and for subscribing, and thanks to all the BonBon buddies over on Patreon for your support and those YouTube members as well. You know what, if you see your name, just put a ring around it. There you go. Brilliant. Right, well, that's it. We made it to the end. If you're still here, you're part of the 20 and out elite. Use the word of the day to prove that you are here, and I will see you again very, very soon with more Cities Skylines. Thanks for watching.